What's up YouTube, this is All Things Quick. So I wasn't going to film today, but I just decided that I'm going to actually film because I'm going to do a couple things here. First things first, I just am replacing these two things because there was only one in this one and it wasn't the right one. So I just took two of those from some old ones that I had from a parts car, not from that parts car, but from a different one. Just replacing them so then the radiator can stay in place and not move, because that's important, or else it will chew right through your expansion tank with your belt. I'm doing that. Also, I need to take this washer motor and the wires that go to the windshield washer reservoir, also this motor as well. I need to take all those and I need to make an extension for everything to be able to go into the trunk, because obviously right here is where the windshield washer reservoir used to sit and where the turbo is now. So I'm going to move everything and make a bracket and mount it into the trunk. So that's today's thing. If I have extra time today, I'm going to swap out the fuel pump in this car here. Other than that, I'm not doing too much, but I just thought I'd film anyways, just to keep you guys updated on what's going on. I got these side markers here. They're smoked out from one of the last cars that I had. Actually, this was like 3 E46s ago. I'm gonna clean this up. I might spray some new nightshade on that, and I'm gonna replace those side markers because I do like that a lot better. I know it's not stock looking, but whatever, I'm gonna swap them out. Also, I got some zip ties and I'm gonna do some drift stitching on this bumper, kind of like what I had done in there. I just want this bumper to be in place. I'm not worried about how it looks aesthetically, but I want it to not be sagging like that. So I'm gonna put some zip ties in there, drill some holes, and have at that. So I just cleaned these things up. I'm just gonna use some nightshade here. Just gonna give them a fresh coat just to make it look a little nicer than it does, because I mean they're decent right now, but with a fresh coat they're definitely gonna look great. This stuff you definitely want to do in layers. You don't want to spray it heavy all at once. I've had bad experiences with this running really good, so oh shoot, whatever. Not made to be perfect, but definitely want them to look nicer. I'm just gonna let that dry a little bit, come back to another coat. Actually, I might do 2 more coats just to make it nice and clear. All right, so that's 3 coats there, and that looks immaculate in my opinion. It's not perfect because they were already sprayed that way. This is just a touch-up. If they were sprayed brand new, they'd definitely be smoother. That's good in my opinion. That's a win. So I just pulled out all this wiring here and the hose for the washer reservoir. And I want to split that apart to about right here. And then I want to put this back in through the cab and run it all the way to the back. I got some extra hose here from the parts car, so I want to see how far I can actually go with that thing. I think I can get to the trunk with that. If not, I have this little section right here. Hopefully I can reach that. Might have to cap a couple things on there. And in the trunk here I have this reservoir sitting right there. It's not mounted in place, but I figured that this is probably the best spot for it. Want it to be kind of in the corner, out of the way. Over here has the battery and stuff, so I don't want to mess with that, but I want to still be able to have trunk space here. So I'm gonna mount it. Even on this thing here, it's all good. I'll just put a little bracket thing on there or something and a bolt, and then that should be good enough. So I've cut this back now to where I want it. Fun fact for anybody that's wanting to put extra wiring in their E46, right inside here, those 2 little ports right there, you can slice them open and you can stick wires through there. If you're looking to seal it up, then you just run a little silicone in it. These little guys here, snip the end, snip the end. It's a through hole, so you can run wires or whatever. So I'm gonna actually run this thing down inside there and run it in underneath the passenger side, right underneath the glove box. So I just took this piece off here. I just drilled the hole in there. So this piece sits in place like this, just so that I can run this hose right through the corner of that and not pinch it anywhere, because otherwise it would have pinched in that area. And then right in the bottom there, I cut that thing off, so I'm gonna stick the hose right through that. So I forgot how ridiculous this whole thing was. I took out the whole glove box, which you need to do just to take off this little thing. So this just slides in place, but like I basically just needed this to be down, but you have to take off the whole glove box to do that. This little section that I'm talking about with the part that you cut open in the engine bay there, it's these little ports right in here, right behind that there. There's 2 sections. One is through the actual firewall and then one's through the rubber section. The rubber that I'd be looking for is right, it's literally right there. So I already fed it through. So there we go. So that's my line from in the engine bay for the washer fluid. So it's a perfect little spot. So I did the inner one, then the outer one right there. As you can see, I can cut that open and I can run power through that. I might have to take up these little side sections here. I might actually run it on the other side instead of the side I had it on. Right in here for the wiring harness, there's this port right there. So I can just cut a little piece out of that. That goes into the trunk there, and then I can run it straight out of that. I ended up running it all the way down underneath all of this trim right there, and then into the back underneath of here, and I put it in the little housing thing here that houses the wiring harness and the power cable so that it doesn't get crushed or pinched. And then I ended up drilling a hole through there. Now it's inside of the trunk in that space where the power cord goes. So basically the location that translates to is right down in here, and we have our hose right there. So if I mount it like this, somehow like that, that's literally just enough room to run that motor right there. I'm gonna see about mounting this and then see where we'll end up. Just want to show you how close that actually is. That's all the hose I have left. This will be mounted right there. So that's literally the most perfect amount. I can plug that into there. That will be perfect. So then I need to get the electronics back here. It would mount like this, which is okay. I like it like that. Now I got to run the power for the motor and the power for the level sensor. Technically I don't need the level sensor, but I'll have a light on the dash if I don't wire it. So I'm just gonna bring it back here anyways. It's just power and ground, so it's not a big deal. And as a matter of fact, I don't think that I'll take the ground from there. I might take the ground from back here, but we'll see. Okay, so I got all these separated right now. So this one here is for the level sensor. This is for the headlight housing motor, but I'm not using that one, so that I'm just gonna stick away in the bin right there. And then this one's the one for the motor for the nozzles on the windshield. So this one has to go all the way to the back. This one here. So these two are running to the back, and then this one will get stored away for now. So I've tied this back up together. I've taped this whole thing up just so that it's not exposed wires everywhere and stuff. I didn't want anything to get burned in here. All I'm gonna do is put those wires into the cab there, and then I'm gonna start extending the wires back to the trunk. So I've just chopped this one off. This is for the motor for the washer jets. These two wires have to go in and start being fished back through to the back. So I'm only gonna do one at a time just so that I don't mix them up and whatever. One at a time, as in one connector at a time. Now I have these wires running in. I taped these up so they're together, and so when they pull through, it's going to be nice and clean. When it goes through that hole in there, it's nice and clean in the engine bay. Just like that. Doesn't matter about inside the car that the wires are exposed. That's all right, because they're getting all tucked anyways. And this is plenty. So I have another wiring harness that's in a bag down in the basement. There's just a ton of these wires there, so I went and picked them out. So as you can see here, I'm about halfway. I got it all tucked underneath the trim there, and I'm just working my way back. And then I will put it on the same area that I have the hose right here. Put it straight into that there, and then hook it up to the reservoir. Now I have those wires running in underneath the seat belt here and into where I have the water hose. And now this is extra, it's long. I'm gonna cut it, but I'm gonna wire up the connectors and then plug them in, and then I'll make a bracket for this thing. This one I'm just storing inside the bin right there like this, just so that it's not connected, because every time you press your wipers, this thing will function. Just gonna stick it right inside there, and we'll wire that up another day. For now, I don't need that. It's not a necessity, so who cares? And then I'm just gonna tape this up, and then that clears everything up for the engine bay. So this is a sketchy thing I just did. Just put a bolt through there, just welded it to the chassis and to the washer that it's sitting on. I drilled a hole through here because this backboard here with flops all over the place. I put a washer and a bolt there that can get pushed on there and secured in place. That's not actually too bad. I like that. It just sits like that. You can turn it by hand. Got my hose right there in the corner. It's not pinched. It still freely moves. And then there's the wires here. So I'm just gonna wire up the connectors and then make a little mount for this, and then we're done with that. I got this together here. I just stuck a spark plug in that just because I only need one motor. Got this little bracket on here. So here it is. Got it on that little bracket there with a zip tie on the top there. I drilled 2 holes in the side here, and then it's zip tied tied into the side on that spark plug. I got the level sensor running to it. And I also got the motor running to it as well. I'm just gonna go down to the store right now. I'm gonna grab some washer fluid and then I'm going to fill that thing up and then see if it works. So there's the windshield washer reservoir. It's all mounted there and it's sturdy too. It's not going nowhere. Just gonna hook up the battery here and then we're gonna jump in, fire this thing up, and then use the washer jets. We're gonna have to do the fuel pump another day, so I'm just gonna put the seat back where it was. All right, so that was a complete waste of my time, but I just put this new piece on and this new piece on because the tabs were broke on that thing and it wouldn't go back on. Now, finally gonna get in here, start this thing up. These wipers are messed up too, by the way. Yeah. Anyways, look at that. We got some wiper jets. Yep, it's good news. So everything works except that passenger wiper. It's all messed up on the motor, but I mean, it still works, so who cares. I also did this. I put those side markers in. Those look nice, I like that. For anyone that thinks that these are any good here, they're not. They're crap. I end up having to zip tie these things in here just to even keep them sturdy so that they like don't fall out. It's crazy, like they're still not good. This is what that looks like. I like the side markers dark like that better. Another thing I did some drift stitching in there just to make sure that that's sturdy. Did it underneath here, and then I did 2 homemade strut mounts, but super sturdy now. That's not going anywhere. I like that. I think that's good. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video right here. If you like that video, definitely hit that subscribe button because there's a lot more that's coming up with this. Next time we gotta run fuel, gotta install the fuel pressure regulator, we gotta do the fuel pump, fuel lines. Eventually we'll get onto the fuel injectors and the fuel rail. This is the end of the video. Next video is gonna be a little more intricate, but this was just kind of tying up some random stuff in this video. If you like that video, definitely hit that subscribe button and tune in for some more of this. Hit that like button. Let me know that you did like it. Let me know down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think, and don't forget to join our Discord server. The link's in the description. We'll see you in the next one. See you later.